This is a problem from the study plan, concept question 5.8, and it deals with GDP and finding the equilibrium level of GDP for a particular economy. So we're given some numbers for our consumption, government spending, investment, net exports, and we are asked to suppose that the economy is depicted by the following relationship: expenditures equals C plus I plus G plus X, and we're asked to find the economy's equilibrium GDP. So this is just a matter of solving the equation, the expenditures equation, or GDP really. Expenditures is the same thing as saying GDP. So this is a matter of solving this equation using these numbers and trying to figure out where that equilibrium level of expenditures is. So I'm going to pull up Excel just to use as my place to type these numbers. So we know that expenditures, or GDP, I'm going to call it Y because GDP is generally thought of as Y, right? Equals C plus I plus G plus X. We also know, because we're told over here, that C equals 100 plus 0.75 times Y minus T. So we can go ahead and solve this equation, the top equation, by plugging in our equation for consumption. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in this C for the C in my top equation. So that's going to look like Y equals C plus I plus G plus X. So that C is just going to equal my second equation that we're told, which is 100 plus 0.75 times Y minus T. So that's my C. I've plugged in my C, and so now I have to just copy down the rest of my Y equation. So it's C plus I plus G plus X. Okay, so now I can do a little rearranging here to get my Y's both together on the same side of the equation, right? So I'll want to subtract 0.75 Y from both sides. So I have Y minus 0.75 Y equals 100, and then now to distribute this 0.75 to the negative T here. So I've got 100 minus 0.75 times T, and then plus I plus G plus X. So here I've just done a little algebra to rearrange my equation so that I've got both of my Y's on the same side of this equation over here. So I can clean it up a little bit more. I know that Y minus 0.75 Y is just 0.25 Y, right? So I've got 0.25 times Y equals 100 minus 0.75 times T plus I plus G plus X. Okay, now that I've got a good little equation here, I just plug in the numbers I'm told. So I'm told that, so I don't know what Y is. That's what I'm trying to solve for, right? My equilibrium GDP is what I'm trying to solve for. So I've still got a 0.25 Y on this side. And then 100 is just 100 minus 0.75 times T. What's T? I'm told in the problem that T is 500. So I'll go ahead and plug that 500 in, plus I, which I'm told is 300, plus G, which I'm told is 500, plus X, which I'm told is 50. You want to be careful and make sure you get the right sign on these, because sometimes, you know, your net exports could be negative, but in this case it's positive, so we've just got a plus 50. If it were negative, we'd just put a minus sign in there instead of the plus sign. So now we can just solve this equation for Y. which actually, luckily, since we're in Excel, Excel can do this math for me. I don't even have to pull up a calculator. So I know that I want to figure out what is, I'll tell Excel, equals 100 minus 0.75 times 500 plus 300 plus 500 plus 50. And Excel tells me that that is, so the right-hand side of my equation is 575. But I still have the left-hand side of my equation, which is 0.25 y equals that 575, right? So now what I have left to do is divide by 0.25 on both sides, and then I'll be left with my y. So y equals, I can get Excel to do this, 575 divided by 0.25. And I'm told y is just 2,300. So that is our equilibrium for this economy level of GDP. It's really just a matter of solving these two equations algebraically. The equation we're given for expenditures, or GDP, and then the equation we're given for consumption, or C. We just plug that in to our GDP equation and then do the algebra to rearrange things and solve for y. So my final answer here is 2,300. Check that, and we're good to go. So if you have any more questions about this, please feel free to shoot me an email or stop by office hours.